So the first dynasty, and a little bit deeper knowledge about the first dynasty, it's actually dated circa 3000 or 2900 to 2730 BCE. The beginning of this historical period is characterized by the introduction of written records in the form of regnal year names, the records that later were collected in documents such as the Palermo stone. The first king of Egyptian history, or Menes, sometimes Narmer, different sources, different actually inscriptions, is therefore a creation of the later record, not the actual unifier of the country. He is known from Egyptian king lists and from classical sources, and is credited with irrigation works and with founding the capital city Memphis. On small objects from this time, one of them dated to the important king Narmer, but certainly mentioning a different person. The sources say there are two possible mentions of a man who may be the king Menes. If these do name Menes, he was probably the same person as Aha, who is Narmer's probable successor, who was then the founder of the first dynasty. Changes in the naming patterns of kings reinforce the assumption that a new dynasty began with his reign. Aha's tomb at Abydos is altogether more grandiose than previously built tombs, while the first of a series of massive tombs at Saqqara next to Memphis supports the tradition that the city was founded then as a new capital. This shift from Abydos is the culmination of intensified settlement in the crucial area between the Nile River Valley and the Delta, but Memphis did not yet overcome the traditional pull of its predecessor. The large tombs at Saqqara appear to belong to high officials, while the kings were buried at Abydos in tombs whose walled complexes have long since disappeared. Their mortuary cults may have been conducted in designated areas nearer the cultivation. In the late pre-dynastic period and the first half of the first dynasty, Egypt extended its influence into southern Palestine and probably Sinai, and conducted a campaign as far as the Second Cataract. The first cataract area, with its center on Elephantine, an island in the Nile opposite the present-day town of Aswan, was permanently incorporated into Egypt, but Lower Nubia was not. So this actually should be enough about this. They used papyrus, they used first hieroglyphs in the middle of the first dynasty. Then there was a surge in prosperity. Thousands of tombs of all levels of wealth have been found throughout this country, and the riches contain magnificent goods, metal, ivory, and other materials. The most widespread luxury products being extraordinarily fine stone, vases, and the high point of the first dynasty development was the long reign of Den, flourished circa 2800 BCE. So the pharaoh Den, that was actually the golden age of this dynasty.